Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Garden State Festival Interviews. I'm Sophia Parola, your host. I am so excited because I get to interview Karl, the man behind the short film Disarray Days. How you doing, Karl?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thanks for coming out on a Monday night to have this interview with us. We're looking forward to picking your brain a little bit.
Excellent.
I would
Thank
love
you.
for you to introduce yourself and your title in the film. And also, can you tell everybody a little bit about your film?
Sure. My name is Karl Erikson. I am the writer, director, and editor, which is pretty common when you make a short film. The film is Disarray Days. It's about toxic relationships and how people allow them to affect their decision making.
Very cool.
I mean, the story itself is about Travis, who is he's made some really bad choices in his life, and he's blaming the universe. And one day he picks up a hitchhiker who he ends up bearing his soul to, and the hitchhiker validates his pain and justifies his past decision making. And he says, you know, it's not you, it is the universe, and I know how we can get the universe back. And so he decides that the best way to do this is to pull a quick change scam on a convenience store. I don't know how that's going to make things better, but in their minds, it will. Things get out of control, and ultimately, Travis has to make some big decisions about where he wants this relationship to go. So.
Awesome. I wasn't sure. I mean, that first little sentence synopsis you did was very cool and intriguing, but I'm happy you got to tell everyone a little bit about the film, because I was so interested to see where I didn't know the twists and turns. I didn't know what was going to happen, which was really cool to watch. I would love to ask you, how did you come up with this idea? What was your inspiration for the film? How did it all begin?
Sure. So my very first film I made back in 2004, Disarray Days. I feel like the production and the whole story itself kind of suffered because I had no idea what I was doing. How I came up with the idea was I was reading the newspaper, if we remember what those were, and there was a gas station robbery by where I used to go to school, and I kind of knew the two guys who did it. And the first guy, I was like, yeah, I kind of get this. I can see this is the path that he's gone. But the second guy, I was kind of, why? And that's really where I got this idea, that like, what makes the second person get involved? And I have a feeling it's usually this relationship. It's usually this lack of confidence in yourself, and you get validation through this other person, whether it's toxic or not. It feels good. And so you find yourself doing things you normally wouldn't do or know are wrong because you like to have that feeling.
Wow, that's so interesting how it all started in 2004 and it developed from then.
Yeah.
And that's so interesting. I love hearing how writers get their first inspiration, because from that to this, that's an amazing development. And I was just talking a little with Karl before we started the interview that I am familiar with the two lead actors in it, Merritt and Mike. And I know some other people that also went to Montclair that works with them, just filmmakers. And that's so cool that you had a crew with people that you knew and that you trusted. I'd love to ask you, just how is filming with these people that you trust and that you know? And what was the process of filming like?
That is it. So I have my band of usual suspects that I love to work with. Same DP, same AC, Omar, Josh. It was my first time working with Mustafa, who came on to co-produce with me. I love surrounding myself by people who I love and people I trust. And when I meet new people, it's usually through them. So there's this idea that, okay, well, if they trust them, I'm fine with that. And I tend to use people who are from New Jersey and use New Jersey locations, and that's really important to me. But yeah, I love to work with people I trust and know, and even some of the locations. Like my last film, Adult Strife, played at the Garden State Film Festival, was shot at the same farm as one of the scenes for Disarray Days as well. It's just I like working with people I'm comfortable with. Yeah.
Absolutely. Very cool. Yeah. Making sure everyone around you is people that you trust and are comfortable with. That's awesome. And I was going to mention about the scenery, because I love that I don't know if that was the opening shot, but just the trees and the scenery that you really, I loved looking at it. And you said that about New Jersey, and you had a film last year in the Garden State Film Festival. I'd love to know, just what are your thoughts about the Garden State Film Festival? Why did you submit again to it? And what does it mean having your films premiere at Garden State?
number one, that's awesome to have my film play at Garden State. The thing I love about Garden State Film Festival and festivals like it is how they make me feel as a filmmaker. There's a lot of festivals where you submit your movie and then it just plays somewhere, and
Mhm.
that's the end of it. Here I am doing an interview. Here I am, we're talking about my movie. We're talking about my process. This is why I do it. I mean, all those things are important to me. Working with those people is important to me. Telling my stories is important to me, and I like getting that from festivals. And Garden State does it.
I love that. Thank you so much. I mean, I think that's perfectly said. Garden State tries really hard to make sure that their filmmakers know that they're not just, another film that's going to premiere. Absolutely, we're like a family. We want to make sure that people always keep submitting to us and know that like your success with this film really is truly Garden State's success. So the more we work together, the better. And that's so awesome that you keep submitting, and I hope that never stops.
Yeah.
Um, so it's so cool that you work with people that you trust and you keep making these films. And I know that you went to school and know all these people and you still work with them today. I'd just love to know some advice you have for filmmakers out there, especially right now during this time. I mean, with COVID and the climate that we're in, it's hard to always stay productive and creative for that matter. So how are
Yeah.
you staying creative during this time? And what advice would you give to other filmmakers or aspiring filmmakers out there?
How I'm staying active is I am finishing projects I've started.
Mm,
That's my main goal. I'm saying, okay, I've got a couple scripts that I worked on. Let's get them done. Mainly feature stuff. Advice I'd give to up and coming is they always hear, keep making movies, never stop. I agree with that, but I think it should be a little bit more involved than that. I think that you should never stop, but I think you should always be focusing on goals and progressing. And I also think that you should develop a network, kind of how I did. And it's not necessarily, if you're a writer director, it's great to know other writer directors, but you should really be getting to know directors of photography, gaffers, producers, people who are at your level and are interested in doing the things that you're doing, and they can help you get, ultimately you're all working toward the same goal. I think that is what you really need to work on. So
absolutely,
that's
absolutely. It's not every man for themselves. I mean, the more we network
right.
and support each other, it's so important.
If you're not helping
Yeah.
each other, you're hurting each other. Yeah, I think, yeah, work together.
Absolutely. I mean, that brings me to my next question. One of the questions I'm asking a lot of filmmakers right now is why do you think it's important for people to not only support their time and efforts and creativity into film and to filmmaking and just watching films, but also in money if they have, investing money in the film industry? Because right now, I mean, if as soon as we're losing money as in schools or just in society, usually the arts are the first thing to go, and people don't really always want to think it's as important as something else. But why do you think it's important for people to continue investing in films and supporting and just putting out work?
I think that's really simple. I think that this pandemic has, what have we all leaned on? We've all leaned
Mhm.
on some form of artistic media, whether it be films, whether it be features, short films, experimental, music videos. I mean, I'm also a guitar player. To see the explosion of just these homegrown guitar players just putting themselves out there, I think that this is what we lean on when we're in times like this, and we don't get that if we don't support that.
Wonderfully said, wonderfully said. And my last question for you, Karl, I would just love to know, um, I just want to know more about what your future plans, not only for this film, but for your career in general. Are you going to submit to other festivals and stay in touch with Garden State? I mean, what is next for Disarray Days and for Karl? What's next?
Uh, Man,
I know it's a big question. Take
Disarray
your time. It's a
Disarray
nuanced
Days.
answer. So,
Disarray Days is actually a feature screenplay that I'm still looking to get made. I wasn't having any luck, and then all this happened, and so I turned it into a short to keep myself busy.
oh
Um,
wow.
but it's already written to a feature. I have a nice Christmas comedy that I just entered in a festival and I won best comedy screenplay. Um, and that's it. I'm doing what everyone else is doing. I'm just trying to make stuff and hopefully people appreciate it, and I just keep growing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I asked that question. So not only is the film that everyone might see, the short film, it might be made into a feature film one day. That's going to
Oh,
happen.
yeah.
And also you won the screenwriting competition at Garden State Film Festival.
Oh, no. It wasn't
Okay.
done yet. I just finished this screenplay maybe last month or a month and a half ago. I entered it in a different festival and it came back as a winner.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that. And
Thank you very much.
Garden State Film Festival actually has a screenwriting competition as well. So maybe
I know.
so next year, definitely submit something, win that. That is so awesome. Well, I mean, I don't doubt that this feature film that'll happen one day will be in Garden State, or any films that you have in the future, because you're a great filmmaker. Garden State likes to keep their filmmakers feel like family and know that your success is our success. And we just want to make sure that you keep in touch with Garden State, because we love our New Jersey filmmakers and filmmakers in general, people who love to stay creative and share stories.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So for everyone watching, let me just say when Disarray Days will be premiering. We have a hybrid this year, which is virtual and in person, but Disarray Days will be in person, which is really cool. It'll be premiering at the Asbury Hotel in Asbury Hall, Saturday, the 27th, in the film block of 5:15 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. So definitely people should check it out, enjoy some good films, and maybe perhaps meet the filmmaker.
Yeah.
It'd be good to come. Awesome. Well, congratulations again, Karl. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us today. And, best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Isn't hitchhiking illegal?
Hitchhiking? I'm just asking you for a ride.
Did I tell you to stay out of here?
I should get my manager.
No, I always try to do the right thing, but the universe just insists on shitting on me.
You're confused. Let's just start over.